You listen to me, you go to the top. You don't listen to me, you're never heard from again.
I figured it out years ago. You manage as a wrestler and you wrestle as a manager. Very simple. When you're outside, you have to register and react like your man is. When you're in the ring, you have to be a coward. That's all you have to do.
Bobby Heenan was the greatest wrestling manager of all time. Period.
Look at him. He could bump, he could work, he could manage, he could do anything.
He had it all. He was a genius.
Bobby, as Gorilla would say, you are a classic.
One of the fastest minds in the world. It's just so quick.
I know it, you know it, everybody knows it.
Bobby Heenan's the best manager ever.
Heenan dropped out of school in the 8th grade to begin working to help support his mother and grandmother.
My mother loses her job there, my aunt has cancer, my grandmother's an older person.
As a young boy, he carried ring jackets to the back and helped set up the ring. He wrestled his first match in 1961 at the age of just 17. He originally competed, both as a wrestler and a manager, using the name Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan. The Assassins were the first tag team that Bobby Heenan ever managed. After the Assassins split up, Heenan managed the Devil's Duo, Angelo Poffo and Chris Markoff. During his time in WWE, he managed the Assassins, the Devil's Duo, Valiant Brothers and the Blackjacks. In particular, Heenan was credited with making Blackjack Lanza one of the top wrestling villains in the country. Heenan went back to the AWA, where he managed Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens.
I say the pinnacle of him as a manager was Bockwinkel.
Oh, I enjoyed working with Red Bastien, Pepper Gomez. Mad Dog Vachon was fun to work with.
And the main thing about Bobby is that everybody realized even back then that he could work probably better than some of the guys he was managing, and he wasn't even a trained wrestler, he just had it.
Bobby Heenan was tremendous. He was so quick-witted.
No, Andre! I know you don't have cancer of the timing. You're knocking these out of the park, baby.
Welcome to the Bobby Heenan Show.
Bobby Heenan brought joy to all those around him with his sharp wit and never-ending desire to make people laugh.
I really like to entertain. I like to make people laugh. Wrestling is not a cure for cancer. It's not a heart transplant. It's entertainment. Have fun with it. If you're that serious about anything, go do something else.
Promo ability, longevity on top, ability to be physical in the ring. Bobby was the best all around for longer than anybody.
It's just an amazing talent. And it's a shame that Bobby Heenan never did something outside of the industry like Saturday Night Live, because he was so qualified for something like that.
No wonder they call him the Brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby's Jesus Christ. I mean, that guy could work his ass. I mean, he could work better than most of the boys. The stuff that he did back and forth with Gorilla was just absolutely priceless.
Relatives are like fish. After 3 days, they stink.
Will you stop and pay attention to what's going on here?
And remember, a friend in need is a pest.
Will you stop? Give me a break.
One of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Just an honest, decent man. He meant no harm to anyone. He was just a good man. It wasn't a job. I look forward to going to be with him. It was the best time in my 40 years in the business with him. He was just a great guy. Never had a bad time with him.
And only one thing's missing. I wish Monsoon was here.
Adrian Adonis, the latest acquisition in your particular stable.
We're not talking about the Cow Pals. That's where the wrestling's going to be.
Family, I'm
right.
sorry. I beg
it's
your
not
pardon.
where I hang out at a stable.
Bobby Heenan managed Baron Von Raschke, Big Cat Ernie Ladd, Mr. Saito, Ken Patera, Big John Studd, Jesse Ventura, Bob Orton Jr., Bobby Duncombe, Masked Superstar, King Kong Bundy, King Harley Race, The Islanders Haku and Tama, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Adrian Adonis, Killer Carl Cox, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Ravishing Rick Rude, Lex Luger, The Nature Boy Ric Flair, and many more. His most famous and beloved client was certainly Andre the Giant. Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig was a crown jewel of Heenan's during the final years of the stable. And the last wrestler to be managed by Bobby Heenan was CM Punk.
the greatest multi-tool talent I've ever worked with in my career. Wrestling, managing, broadcasting, hosting, whatever. It was Bobby Heenan at the top, and everybody else is playing for second.
Bobby Heenan could work with anybody.
And so JJ agrees. Heyman says so. I say so. Well, fuck it, book it. Bobby's the best. The debate is over.
His daughter called me the night before he died and said he was checking out of the hospital. He wanted to come home. And then she called me in the morning and she said he was gone. He was just a great guy. Never had a bad time with him.
Sadly, Cynthia Heenan passed away on July 18, 2022. She stayed by her husband's side until he died at the age of 72 in 2017.
I buried my mother, my grandmother, and my loved ones with the money I made off this business. So I owe them something. That's the truth. God bless the memories, and God bless the fans. I enjoyed what I did. I really did.
All right, I thank you very much, Bobby Heenan.
Then I'm going out to the ranch and see some friends of mine.